Welcome to Lykken on Lending, the podcast that dives deep into the heart of the mortgage industry. Your host, David Lykken, bringing you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. Whether you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, this show is your go-to source for all things mortgage. On Lykken on Lending, we're not just about delivering information, we're about delivering it in a way that's lively, engaging, and yes, even entertaining. You'll hear from a wide range of regular contributors, experts who make the complexities of the mortgage business not just understandable, but enjoyable. Our goal? To keep you informed on the operational aspects of the industry. Everything from regulations and compliance to technology and market trends, without ever being boring. We believe that staying up to date doesn't have to be dull, and our interactive conversational style ensures you'll be hooked from the get-go. So get ready for detailed discussions, lively debates, and a wealth of knowledge that will help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of the mortgage industry. Let's get started. This is Lykken on Lending. Now your host, David Lykken.
Welcome, listeners, to another special podcast. Our guest today is Garrett Locklear. The reason why so many of you should be paying attention to this is because Garrett is one of the top loan originators in the nation. And I'll let him get into tell you about it. He's been building some technology I'm extremely excited about. Loan officers are getting excited about it. Companies are getting excited about it. And he's one of our sponsors of our podcast. So I'm grateful to have him. Also, he's a client and becoming kind of like a son to me. Garrett, good to have you with us. I almost got a lot sentimental there.
Thanks, David. I appreciate that intro. I didn't mean to make you cry.
No, I know. It was just like, yeah, that's really nice.
I'm a two-time repeat offender now on your show.
Yeah, you have. It's not like you've been. This is a repeat and another one. So anyway, we're glad to have you back, and I'm really excited because you recently did something that caught some people's attention. And listeners, if you haven't heard, Candid acquired Unify CRM. And a lot of people are saying, Candid, is this a small little company? Is there anything significant about it? But this acquisition established you, Garrett, as a serious player and a company to be reckoned with. And I'm excited about that. That's one of the things I want to talk about today. So what was your reasoning behind this?
Yeah, good question. To give you a little background, I am still a loan originator. I hold my active NMLS license and have for the past 12 years or so. But about 5 years ago, maybe 6 now, we felt the need and saw a big need in the market to create a mortgage marketing and sales operating system, which is Candid. And that's the idea of, hey, we've got all of these great vendors all over the place, but we need logins and integrations and full-time teams to manage all of this. Why don't we have native experience that does the same thing, similar to making a call on your iPhone, but also sending a text message and looking at a map?
Yeah.
We can do all of that from one device. Why don't we have the same thing for mortgage marketing and sales? And so that is the birthplace of Candid. And fast forward recently, last month, or maybe this month, time's flying.
Yeah, I think it was
we did acquire Unify, which is a CRM. It's been around a while, at least a couple of decades. And it was just a great opportunity. We got approached from the owners of Unify, and we took a look at the system, and it came with some really great tools that we could implement and integrate directly into Candid, the operating system. And it also came with some really amazing, talented people that were working on building into our team as well. And so there was 2 or 3 things there that we looked at and we said, well, this is actually really interesting. And the more we looked, the more we got excited about it. We came up with a structure of a deal. It worked for everyone, and it was a quick 3 or 4 months, and we closed on it in early December.
I heard you had a really good consultant advising you, too.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Folks, that's me. I was being behind the scenes working with it, advising him, because I've gone through several of these, and I really did believe in this. It's a no-brainer. But more times than not, M&A deals fail. And I wanted to make sure this one succeeded. And the way you're executing on this, it very much is going to be a success. But how does this acquisition position Candid relative to other players in the
Let me back up to what you said a little bit earlier. I readily admit, as a loan originator with a decade plus experience under my belt, and I've closed over $1 billion in mortgages, I feel pretty good about how to originate a mortgage. But when it comes to M&A, I'll happily admit to anyone who asks, I have no idea. So what I do is I surround myself with people who have tons of knowledge in that space. And one of them is you, David. And it's been a smooth process. You've been super supportive and helpful. And I want to go on public record to say thank you.
Thank you. It's been an honor to work with you, Garrett. And thank you for those kind words. But it's fun to work with bright young people that have got great ideas. And you're doing some things within Candid that, quite honestly, no one else has done, or in my opinion, even contemplated doing it. But how does this acquisition position Candid relative to other players in the tech space?
Think of Candid as an operating system. So at first, if you rewind the clock about 6 years, Candid's really core function was CRM, and there's lots of those out there.
Yeah.
And that's where the birthplace started. However, what happened over time is we said, hey, rather than go out and buy this particular vendor service offering and work on integrating it, we found some big holes just in integration as a whole. It's very costly, it takes constant maintenance, there's compliance risk involved because now you have your data in more than one place, and the list goes on. And so what we did instead of that is we said, hey, why don't we build a native experience for exactly what we need? It's not an integration, but it's simply an additional tool that our operating system can offer. And so when you talk about differentiation among the marketplace, we looked at Unify that same way. We didn't look at Unify from the standpoint of can we integrate with this platform, but instead what tools and what experiences can we take and enhance and build into our operating system. So example, Unify has a great relationship with Experian, and Experian has great tools from credit monitoring to trigger leads and beyond. And so we can take that and we can implement it into our operating system. So we don't have to go to our users and offer an integration or another username and password to memorize. Our users can log into their operating system known as Candid and take advantage of some of these really great tools. Another one is access to MLS data, which we're really excited about.
Yeah. That does start getting exciting. Will Candid's acquisition of Unify help attract new customers and deepen the relationships with the existing ones? I would assume that's a yes, but if it is, explain why and how.
It's a huge win for everyone. Our existing users, they don't even know it yet, but they're going to have more amazing tools that they can pull from. Example, we built Scenarios, which is an incredible mortgage presentation experience natively built into our client portal. It can be shared to the realtor portal as well. Now we can power that with a Genworth mortgage insurance integration. So we can populate mortgage insurance quotes. It doesn't have to go anywhere else to do that. So lots of wins for our existing users, but Unify also came and comes with some great partnerships as well. I'm thinking of American Financial Network, Bay Equity is another one we're really excited about. We're going to be able to, and we're already talking with them about offering some really amazing enhancements and really upgrading and helping them to raise the bar on what they should expect out of technology moving forward.
Good. I do anticipate your existing clients are going to benefit. Certainly, Unify's clients are going to benefit because they're getting a major upgrade with Candid. How does this acquisition fit into the broader trends within the mortgage industry, especially the mortgage tech industry, such as digital transformation and automation, Garrett?
There's a lot of that going on. It seems every time you read something on the internet, there's something new that's going on. And that's why we really feel quite strongly about Candid being an open architecture operating system. And that is fancy language.
For those that don't understand, explain open architecture, because everyone hears that, but I really want them to hear your definition of it.
Yeah, that's such a good point because there's so many buzzwords out there and we get excited about them, but no one knows what they mean.
Yeah.
But by open architecture, what we mean is, let's say a new technology offering comes along, or maybe a new vendor. Because we're built on open architecture, within a matter of minutes or hours, we can take that new offering and actually implement it into our system. It doesn't take weeks or months or years to build out integrations or new tech offerings. And the same with old ones. We can sunset old ones very quickly. Open architecture also allows, on a very micro level, It allows our users to create unique experiences, let's say per branch or per model in their business. Retail, you want a different experience. You want different fields, you want different components, you want a different technology platform than you would direct to consumer. And direct to consumer versus wholesale. So we can go to organizations and say, hey, your organization is extremely diverse. You need to be able to offer that type of diversity with your technology as well. Let's create custom user interfaces for each branch or each model of your business, all the way down to fields. If you need a new field dropped in or dragged out, that's a 30-second job. You shouldn't have to wait weeks or months to have these changes made. And especially with compliance constantly changing, it creates security and compliance risks when you have to wait weeks or months to get simple changes made to your platform. We say, hey, this should be something that you should expect within hours, and we can do it for you through Candid development services. We can train you how to do it, and your admins can do it themselves. But these are very simple, no code or low code, drag and drop functions that your basic admins should be doing on their own.
It's so important to have that. A lot of people talk about it, but thanks for expanding on that. It'll give us a little more perspective. What can we expect next from the combined entity in terms of product innovation? You're always innovating with Candid already, so what's next?
Great question. The heart of Candid is constantly developing, constantly looking at what's out there and how can we leverage it to help our users consolidate, help our users save, help our users create a better, more modern mortgage experience.
When you say a modern mortgage experience, would you expand on that? Because I say that all the time when we're doing the podcast, and I always say for the modern mortgage lender, and I go, let's get some meat on that. Explain that so people can understand what the modern mortgage lender looks like versus old antiquated one, other than they got gray hair, maybe. But I think some of us gray hairs are fairly innovative. But anyway, what does it look like?
I always start with the consumer and work my way backwards when I'm thinking about the modern mortgage experience. And this isn't a new idea. These are ideas that have been around a long time. But it always starts with the consumer. What does the consumer want? They want a seamless experience, start to finish, with seamless marketing, even down to what phone number am I receiving a text message updates from, and which number am I getting the call from, and this should all be the same. But if you're buying a home, you want one place to go where you complete your mortgage application. You want the same place to go where you upload documents. You want the same email to give you the updates along the way. You want the same place you upload the documents to be the same place you go to see where you're at in the mortgage process. And everyone's shaking their head at this point and thinking, yeah, I've got that. But it doesn't stop there, because once they're closed on the home, you want to return to the same place to be able to check your credit score, to be able to look at your appraisal of the home that you bought a few years ago, to complete your annual mortgage review, to complete your surveys, so on and so forth. The consumer wants one place to go that looks and feels the same as the emails you're receiving and creates a consistent brand experience. I explain to people all the time, there's a reason you can go into any Starbucks, 10,000 locations in the United States, and they all smell exactly the same. Starbucks has spent hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure when you interact with their brand, it is 100% consistent. Because when I say Starbucks, everyone in the United States instantly has a smell in their nose.
Exactly right.
That's not by mistake.
And you look on the menu. It doesn't vary. Yeah.
And the mortgage experience should be exactly the same. From the first moment that you receive an automated email, we all know what those look like. That brand experience should be exactly the same from that to milestones. Your home value report that you're receiving after closing should be the exact same brand. Every year you complete our automated annual mortgage review. That should be the same brand experience. Top to bottom, years in the making, create a strong brand experience, and that's what I mean by a modern mortgage experience.
Garrett, I want to get your thoughts on where you think innovation is going. We're seeing artificial intelligence, AI, playing a bigger role, certainly creating some new opportunities. There's a lot of hype in a lot of it right now. So can you level set what we should have as an expectation for innovation and where this could be going?
AI is definitely the most exciting thing that is happening, but I can't emphasize enough discernment.
Yes.
I was on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago, and I just noticed a post from a CEO of a mortgage company. He's talking about, hey, vendors, here's what we're working on for 2025. Here's our top 3 things. It's AI this, AI that, and AI that. And I think we should always be looking to the future. And certainly AI is part of that. But man, I think as an industry, we have a bad habit of always chasing after the next shiniest object.
Shiny objects, yes, so
and
true.
really wanting to do backflips and do sprints before we learn how to walk. And so to me, before we get too excited about whatever the next tech thing is, let's make sure we have our fundamentals in place. And at Candid, as an operating system for loan originators and loan origination experiences, it's all about having a strong fundamental backbone in place. Once you have that, I'll tell you a quick story actually. First automation that we ever built at Candid was a birthday email. That was it. I had this big dream of what Candid was. It's going to do this and this, and it's gonna do all of these things. But you know what? If we didn't have just a basic happy birthday automation, what are we doing? And that's the first thing we built.
Interesting.
But then from there, we integrated, hey, if we're going to wish someone a happy birthday, we should tell the realtor about it 5 days before. Hey, if we're going to tell the realtor about it 5 days before, we should send a handwritten card and not just do electronic automation, but do physical automation. And so we got really fancy really fast, but at the core of it, it was very basic. And I think that's where you have to start when it comes to technology. Make sure you've got the basics in place and then start dreaming beyond that.
Yeah, and you're focusing on what should be your initial core. So here you start with a business card and you start looking at all the things around that. Yep. It just becomes like just a concentric circles out from there that brought about so many of the things that are wonderful. Texting versus emailing. You guys do that beautifully, and that's got to be one of the best things that is going to have greater traction with the consumer. Because at the end of the day, we talk about the consumers, number one. Absolutely agree with you. But it's how we communicate with them. Less than 23% and how they're communicating. Exactly right. Some people are still wanting email, but the vast majority of people today are wanting, hey, I don't have time to go look at my emails. Could you shoot me a quick text on that? And that is such a key. How are you viewing that? And I know you're doing that well, so explain to our listening audience how you do it, how core that is to your system.
Texting is huge. But remember, if we didn't have a strong email automation in place first, what are we doing with texting? But luckily, we've got both. For texting, it's not just about communicating with your home buyers and your real estate partners through text. It's about communicating them through text how they want to be communicated with. Video texting is one thing that we offer. Very successful.
You do video texting?
We do. We offer video texting. What an amazing way to communicate with home buyers, real estate partners, even prospecting for realtor partners. Sending them a quick video which you record natively straight from our texting component. But think about this as well, David. It's not just enough to offer two-way text messaging. You've got to offer the MMS features, meaning group texting. A lot of loan originators receive referrals by a group text, but there are very few components out there who can handle that. So the loan originator gets a text, it's from the realtor, it's introducing you to the client, but the client's not on the text message. And it's simple things like this that we look to solve for. And so we're going to be introducing group text messaging next week, actually, in addition to video text.
Group texting. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you need to be, as simple as it sounds, you need to be able to handle emojis and GIFs. This is how the modern mortgage experience works.
Yes.
If you can't send a thumbs up, what are we doing? So you've got to be able to communicate not just by texting, but how people are communicating by texting as well.
Really so true. Candid is built on the Salesforce platform. A lot of people have a Salesforce, and they could save money if they take on a Candid product. You'll actually reduce their Salesforce bill because of the size of your contract with them. I think it's a notable thing to mention here as we get close to wrapping this up.
Salesforce has been an awesome partner of ours for years. But there's a couple of misnomers about Salesforce. One, Salesforce is like a blank slate, like a canvas, if you will. You buy it, you got the licensing, but you've got to build and you've got to create a masterpiece on it for you to get the return on that investment.
Right.
And it can be an investment.
And it's expensive.
It can be an expensive investment. We recognized the power of Salesforce years ago, but there's a lot of barriers to entry to it. And one of them is that mortgage is so niche, it's so unique.
Yeah.
And so what we did was we partnered with Salesforce. We're actually a direct seller of Salesforce licensing. And we got off of their clouds like Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud, and we essentially created our own specific for mortgaging with deep knowledge in the mortgage space. And so we can go to organizations that already use Salesforce but aren't receiving the return on investment that we can get for them. And we can offer some incredible opportunities there, from either components and licensing those, or talking about our entire application, whatever it looks like. We've actually run into a lot of organizations who use Salesforce, but it's so powerful and they're only using a small fraction of it. So we've had some really exciting conversations about, hey, what if we took what you're using Salesforce for? Example, let's say they're just using it for managing licensing for their LOs. Why don't we take it and let's talk about spinning up our recruiting cloud so that your recruiting department can use the same platform. And then let's talk about getting your loan originators on it as well and off of all of their disparate systems. And from the recruiting department to the LOs, let's talk about your loan officer assistants, your processors. Let's talk about the automations that can significantly increase the return on their time. And so we can look at multiple parts of an organization, even if they're just using it for one thing, and say, hey, have you considered doing this? Let's show you what that looks like.
That's really good. Any future acquisitions in the works?
None that we can talk about, David.
None that we can. None that we can talk about.
We're always looking for great strategic partners. That could be an acquisition. That could be a mortgage organization to partner with. Yeah. But we're definitely growing. We have some incredible partners we're working with now, talking with more partners, and very excited about the future.
Acquisition of Unify CRM. It's really exciting. I am looking forward to sharing this interview with our listening audience. I think you've got some wonderful features that people should be looking at. There's some great CRMs out there. There's been some legacy ones, some older ones like Unify, and are now coming into a bright, new, exciting future. So encourage people to check it out. Where can they do so, Garrett?
You can find out more information at candid.inc, and you can even sign up to have a discussion with us, check out how we can serve your technology needs. And really excited. Thanks for having us, David, for a second time on your podcast. Big fan of the podcast. Listen to it every week. I would encourage everyone to do the same.
Thank you very much. That's CANDID.inc, INC. Check it out. Garrett, thanks so much for being with us. Happy New Year. So good to be in partnership with you.
Same to you.
You bet.
You've been listening to Lykken on Lending. Our passion is to bring you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. So on this show, if you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, it's your go-to source for all things mortgage. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Lykken on Lending.